Troy is in the hot seat today.
We all think we're going to be, if it's basketball, the next LeBron James, or if it's baseball, the next Derek Jeter, and we don't have this realization that only 5% make it.
Hey, without baseball, yeah, you feel like you have nothing. You feel like you have no purpose. But in me, you have everything.
I said, God, if you're real, prove it to me. And then 2 days later, I tore my ACL, my MCL, both my meniscus, blew everything out in my knee and my hamstring with coaching. And then the coaching led up to the next opportunity to go say baseball. And then like the next opportunity with the Giants, moving to San Francisco, and then moving to Florida with the Orioles, and then meeting you. And
I said that?
no, like I said the Yankees.
I was like,
teams.
I don't even watch baseball. So my name is Alex Marrow.
I'm Troy Marrow.
And welcome to our channel.
Hey.
Our channel is all about faith, marriage, and just our lives here in Orange County. But today we're gonna do a video all about Troy's baseball career.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm going to interview him, ask him all the questions y'all want to know. Just kidding. Ask all the questions I want to know about his baseball career. So keep on watching and let's get into it.
Stay tuned.
So Troy is in the hot seat today. I'm very excited for this.
Me too.
You ready?
I'm ready.
How you feeling?
Nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Kidding. I'm not nervous.
You're
It's
with me.
just my life.
My life?
Yeah, like my baseball life.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you mean to say wife or life? Because I am just your wife.
You are.
Okay, so first question. I have all the questions here, by the way, so that's why I'm looking down. But Troy, when did you start playing baseball and how did you like it when you were younger?
So I started playing baseball when I was 6 years old. It was when I first moved to Maryland, actually, and I absolutely loved baseball. I remember I was 6 years old when I was playing, and my dad took me to my first Orioles game before I even started playing. And that's when I started falling in love with it. I remember him telling the story. I just was following the baseball everywhere that would go, and he'd be like, oh, like you just want to take a baseball everywhere. And that's how I was. And from that point on, since I was 6 up until now, I've fallen in love with it. I don't think there's really been days where I've actually hated the game, but that love started when I was 6 years old, and it was love at first sight, kind of like us.
That was corny. How did baseball help you? Don't look.
I cheated.
How did baseball help you, and in what ways did it harm you?
The number one thing baseball taught me was to be resilient. Baseball is a game of failure. You're considered a success if you get a hit 3 times out of every 10 at-bats. And I kind of took that into life, you know, when I was going through hard times or I was having just a bad season of life. I knew I would have to just to be able to overcome it, because I played such a hard game where I would fail multiple times over and over and over again. And then just like a game, that's when you get a hit, and then you kind of get like on a hot streak. And then that's how I would be in life as well. And I just want to get down on myself, because in baseball, when you do fail, because you are going to fail, you're going to get another at bat at some point, at some time. Just like in life, like, I mean, yes, tomorrow is not promised, but I would still go about that I would have tomorrow to live for. Being resilient was definitely the number one lesson. What was the other half of the question?
In what ways did it harm you?
I would say baseball didn't harm me in too many ways, but one of the ways that it definitely did harm me, I became a perfectionist. You have to have really good mechanics to be a successful hitter, to be a successful batter, and just to be a successful baseball player in general. And your mechanics always have to be on point. And so while we are practicing or as during a game, you're so focused on your mechanics and wanting to be perfect every single time. I would kind of take that into life. I would just beat myself up if I wouldn't do something correctly. I would be like, why would I do that? Or how did I make that mistake? And you take this mindset into life, and now you're just beating yourself up for like the smallest things. And I've definitely seen that like in our marriage too, where I could beat myself up for some like small like little conflict or small little mishap. It's still in me, and it's something that I'm working through today still. I would say the other way that it did harm me was baseball became my whole life. And so I didn't know a lot of things other than baseball. growing up. Literally, all I knew was baseball. All I would watch was baseball. All I would talk about was baseball. And so I didn't get to experience life as much as the ordinary teenager or young adult would. And so it just robbed me of some life experiences. And being honest, yeah, I think that's one of the ways baseball actually harmed me.
Did you ever get to a point where you felt that baseball defined you? I think you already touched on it, or it gave you identity. And how did you get out of that place? If you are out of that place.
Definitely out of that place. My identity is in my Lord and my Savior, Jesus Christ. But baseball was my whole identity growing up. I allowed it to control my life. And so if I was having a good time playing baseball, if I was doing well in baseball, I was doing well in life, and they just associate it with each other. If I was doing bad in baseball, I was doing bad in life. I let it rule my life in so many ways. And so, like, yes, it was a great escape to go play, but at the same time, it had a control over me. I got to this point, I think I would maybe been in college or a little bit afterwards, where I was like, am I actually having fun playing this game anymore? Because it is a game at the end of the day. And so that's how I knew my identity was in baseball, because it literally affected all areas of my life. It affected my relationships. It affected even work. Like, I didn't even have work experiences until I was done playing baseball, because baseball was everything to me. Actually allowed me to do well in school, so I will say that was a positive. But the way I came out of it, honestly, was I was saved in 2015. It was in my senior season, 2 days before we were playing at Wofford University. I just still don't know what came upon me. I said, God, if you're real, prove it to me. And then 2 days later, I tore my ACL, my MCL, both my meniscus, blew everything out in my knee and my hamstring all in the same play. And then I went through I wouldn't say it was diagnosed depression, but pretty much like that question of like, all right, what is the point of living? And I started to come to the realization that baseball was my everything. And so my dad told me to pick up a couple books, and in one of the books, the guy mentioned church a couple times, so I Googled non-denominational church, and I ended up going, and I ended up getting saved August 2nd, 2015, and my life hasn't been the same. And it took me a while to realize that my identity was rooted in baseball. But I've gotten to the point now where I've realized God has given me this love of such a wonderful game, but this doesn't mean this is my identity anymore. If baseball was taken away tomorrow, I would be totally okay, because now my identity is in Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like that happens with a lot of athletes, where either they play a sport maybe their whole life or in college, and then they realize, or they just like don't make it into pros, and they've put all of their bets in, making it to the pros or just continuing the sport later on. Whereas most athletes will finish either in high school or college, right?
Over 95%. You have to be part of the 5% to go play professionally. And so I think I think you hit it on the head. I think especially as athletes, we all think we're going to be, if it's basketball, the next LeBron James, or if it's baseball, the next Derek Jeter, and we don't have this realization that only 5% make it, and that's like the cream of the crop. And so we have to have other plans in life, but it starts with having our identity in our sport.
Yeah, I was about to say, you have to have a foundation. You have to have something where your identity is rooted in something else other than what you're doing with your hands, or what your skills are, or what your gifts are, because that isn't who you are, which is what you discovered in giving your life to Jesus. And really him showing you, hey, without baseball, you feel like you have nothing, you feel like you have no purpose, but in me you have everything. You have everything you need.
Exactly.
And so that's really cool. Thanks for sharing.
Of course.
So speaking of the pros, did you ever get disappointed, or did you feel disappointed that you didn't make it to the pros, and why?
I would say, I think no, honestly, because I was saved so quickly, and I was radically changed. And so I never had a regret about how my college career ended. I mean, I had the aspiration to play professional baseball, but the longer you go, like, the more reality sets in. And realizing, like, where I went to school at a smaller HBCU, I knew that if I was ever going to play pro, it would be in a different route, where I would be playing independent baseball, and then maybe have the chance to go like signing like a minor league contract or something like that. I've worked in professional baseball for 2 years with the 4 years, 2 years coaching and then 2 years with the Giants. I think in that case, and knowing how much I love baseball, how much knowledge that I have, I think there is a little bit of mourning of, all right, I might not be able to get to professional baseball in the way that I thought I was going to be able to get there and to coach at the highest level. And we actually were talking about that the other night. I've definitely come to grips with it now and making that decision, but you still miss it every now and then. And I've just come to that reality because marriage is so much more important to me than a job. I wouldn't trade it for the whole entire world. Would it be cool to coach professional baseball? Absolutely. Like, I'd be an idiot if I said no, but I realize there's going to be so much more glory in what we're doing together.
Yeah, or whatever God calls you to. So, like, not that we're saying it's never going to happen, but yeah, just whatever God calls us to, we want to be obedient, and you'll definitely see the fruit of your obedience. So, yeah, that's good. If you did play professional baseball, I almost said basketball, how would your life be different, and why?
I couldn't say. I don't know if I would be saved or not. Let's just go with the route. If I wasn't saved, I think life would look, from the outside, would look great. If I were to make it there, making millions of dollars, playing on national television, going to all these different cities, but also in the inside of me knowing that I'm actually not living I'm not saying for an actual purpose, but there's just so much more to life than just a game that we're playing. And so I think that's how it would look different, honestly. But I think if I was saved and we were together, it would still be as awesome, but I would be playing professional baseball and doing a lot more with my life. And so if that's having a charity, if that's doing even something that we want to do later on, doing like missions work in like the Dominican Republic or something like that when it comes to baseball, I think that's how it would honestly look different. And having the funds to do that right away instead of 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah. And then in what ways did baseball open up other opportunities for you? Just because I know you, they might be interested in hearing this, but like, in what ways, whether spiritually, emotionally, in your career, and just like things that you've been invited to, has baseball just opened up an avenue for you?
Oh my God, so many. I think so many doors. That's how, honestly, without baseball, I don't think we ever meet. Baseball has just given me the opportunity, obviously, to meet my wife, but also to go to an all-star game, to be able to speak at one of the biggest baseball conferences that's around, but also even spiritually, it's formed me in a way where without the experience that I had in baseball, that I would have been able to do some of the things that I got to do. And so if that's with FCA, going to that's Fellowship Christian Athletes, going to one of their camps and being involved in their baseball ministry, even meeting one of my mentors, Stephen Gartrell.
Shout out if you're watching.
Shout out, Stephen. Shout out to you, my guy. But Stephen played professional baseball, and that was the connection point that we had, and it just allowed our relationship to grow very, very deeply. I was part of the first MLB Diversity Fellowship class, and we had like a 1% chance of getting it. There was, I think, over 1,300 applicants, and there's only 22 people chosen. I won a gold medal with USA Baseball. I've gotten to meet people that I would never thought I would be able to meet. I've got to meet Hall of Famers, Ken Griffey Jr. I think the list just goes on and on of just these awesome life experiences that God has been able to open up. It's honestly all started with baseball, with coaching, and then the coaching led up to the next opportunity, USA Baseball, and then like the next opportunity with the Giants, moving to San Francisco, and then moving to Florida with the Orioles, and then meeting you. And God's just done like an amazing job of just weaving everything together and just giving me these opportunities where I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. That's really cool. All right, so kind of pivoting a little bit, but what are you doing now?
So now I work at Futures Training Center. Shout out to Futures in Corona, California. Right now I am the Learning Academy coordinator. I am in charge of all of the player development for our Learning Academy. So our Learning Academy is our homeschool program. But going into this year, we're expecting to have around 75 students, I believe, and I'm going to be in charge of their player development. So that means their hitting plans, that means their fielding. I'm not going to be in charge of their pitching plans because I know nothing about pitching. I'm just very excited for this opportunity, and so I get to work with all middle school and high school age kids, but I also right now with college kids being back home and professional athletes that will come during the winter time, I get to work with them as well. And so I do hitting, I do fielding, and try to do a little bit of educational resources as well when it comes to baseball. I am also a part-time advisor at College Athlete Advantage, and at CAA we are a company that helps student athletes that are in high school navigate the recruiting process. And so that's everything from going to the right camps to going to the right tournaments to play in, what schools they need to be talking to. We help grade what this athlete, where this athlete is. Are they a Division I player? Are they Division II? Are they Division III? Should they go to junior college first and then to another school? And we help these families decide, all right, what is the best fit for their player. And we also help them, like, all right, with their SAT and what's the SAT and the
I don't know. In Florida, we had the FCAT, but I'm pretty sure that's not it in California.
I forget the other one. But
ACT?
the ACT. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. With the SAT and the ACT, we help them. We help.
FCAT is not for college. Sorry, keep going.
We help them when it comes to eligibility with the NCAA as well. I'm looking forward to it because it was something that wasn't really big when I was playing, and I know my parents had a tough time navigating this whole scouting and recruiting scene, and that's why I want to be a help to all high school athletes and even junior college players that are out there.
I think you actually missed one thing that you're a part of.
I did miss one thing. I also am the director of Top Tier SoCal, which is a travel ball and showcase baseball team located here in Orange County, and we're going to be looking to expand to LA County in the fall of 2024 this year. And it's a travel baseball program focused specifically on player development, because a lot of travel ball programs right now are just all about the money. Like, money is good and money is to be made, but kids are not meant to be monopolized. So
that's a word. All right. Okay. And then fun question. Who's your favorite player and baseball team?
So my current favorite player is Manny Machado. He plays third base for the San Diego Padres. But my favorite player of all time is the one and only, the captain, Derek Jeter. And my favorite team is the New York Yankees. My dad, from the very beginning, sat me down and said, watch number 2. And number 2 is Derek Jeter. And he played for the New York Yankees. And so from that point forward, I was a Yankees fan. I still pretty much am. I mean, I root for them. I still root for the Orioles because I worked for them as well.
Cool. I'm not really sure if I knew that you were a Yankees fan.
I think you definitely did. So I remember I asked you what baseball teams you knew, because it was past tense, and you said the Yankees. And I was like, oh, that's my favorite team.
Yeah. I said that?
No, like I said the Yankees are my favorite team.
I don't even watch baseball. I would not have said that. Okay, and then last question. Don't look. What are some of your career goals specifically in the future, and why?
A dream of mine is to be able to open up my own baseball academy / facility, whatever you wanna call it. But it's just going to be just so much more than just baseball where these kids are coming to play. They're going to be formed into young men, because baseball, like we were talking about earlier, baseball was a game that taught me a lot, and that's what I want to do with the athletes that I'm working with. I want to tell them that this is so much more than just a game. And yes, this game can take you very far. You can go and make it professionally, but you also have a life to live. I want to be able to build character in them. I want them to be able to know what it's like to fail and to be able to get back up again. And I want them to fall in love with the game that I got to fall in love with, and for them to realize that it's just a game. And hopefully it's almost like a ripple effect where I get to pass everything that I learned from them, that I learned onto them. We are Christians, and discipleship is huge. And I want to be able to disciple kids from a very, very young age when it comes to baseball, because now they will be able to say, if I start discipling a kid when he's 11 or 12 years old, and then he comes through my program, and then he goes off into high school and he's like a sophomore or junior, now he's able to disciple another 11-year-old or 12-year-old maybe. And it's just, again, it's just this whole ripple effect that I really want to see. I also want to be able to help parents, like I was talking about earlier, navigate the whole recruiting scene, and being able to also just help parents coach their kids. And when I say coach, it's just not specifically on the baseball field, but off the baseball field as well. And there's so much correlation, again, that happens there. If a kid is playing bad, like, how as a parent are you going to be able to navigate this relationship with them, instead of like beating them over the head and saying like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you so bad? Learn to encourage them. And so it's coaching parents, honestly, as well. And then just using all the baseball knowledge that I have to become my own business when it comes to the baseball IQ that I know, and when it comes to, again, just the knowledge of the game, and to be able to pass that off to other people, and to be able to do stuff also internationally. I was gonna say overseas, but internationally, to be able to do things in the Dominican Republic, to be able to do things in Puerto Rico, because baseball is huge there, and to be able to go back to these countries and serve the people of these countries in a way that's just, all right, we're here more than just baseball. We're gonna give you guys life skills. We're gonna give you guys the Bible. If you guys aren't believers, we're gonna encourage you that there is so much more in life. Those are just some of my life goals.
And then last but not least, most important question of all is, what is your favorite baseball snack?
Baseball snack? That's a good
one. Or
one.
food that's served during a game. Or that's sold, not served.
I got a tie.
Okay, go for it.
You can never go wrong with a good old pretzel, with the right amount of salt. And then the good old nachos. Like, you can't go wrong.
Okay.
I'm not a hot dog person. Ew, the hot dogs. If you like hot dogs out there, I'm judging you.
Just the salted pretzels?
Just the salted pretzels. No mustard, no.
No mustard?
Mm-mm.
No dipping sauce?
No dipping sauce, no.
That's so dry.
I'm a dry person.
That's weird, but okay. I do like pretzels, but it has to have some sort of like flavor or sauce to dip it in, you know?
Nah, straight salt.
Okay. All right, so those are my questions for Troy. But Troy, I want you to share with the people what you are starting now with regards to baseball and YouTube.
Yes, I am starting my own baseball channel on YouTube called Baseball Hub.
Baseball Hub.
Subscribe. We're going to put all the information out there, but the Baseball Hub is going to be a channel focused, of course, around baseball, but more specifically when it comes to skills in baseball, when it comes to recruiting advice in baseball, when it comes to baseball IQ, when it just comes to baseball knowledge as well, for those parents out there that might not know the game, or that your girlfriend or wife that might not understand the game as well. We're gonna have some funny videos up there. And also, I think just my life and what baseball has done, and just journeying with me as well. When it's, so it might be following me to work, following me, like I'm going out to North Carolina for a USA event in July, and travel baseball tournaments, and so just picking up the camera with me as well, and just following me on those daily journeys.
Yeah, Troy the vlogger. We love to see it. I'm excited to see those videos.
I'll have Alex film.
Who's gonna edit them?
You are.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll be seeing all of his videos with no choice.
No.
So that is the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something about baseball and or Troy's life, why he's so passionate about what he does, how baseball has transformed his life. I know I have learned things, and I'm excited for the Baseball Hub channel to start.
Yes.
And to learn a little bit about baseball, and to be able to pick up what he's putting down as far as baseball, what's happening on the screen, what's happening in a game. I don't know. I always hear like some murmuring in his phone going on with a baseball game going on in the background, or basketball, but
basketball ended yesterday, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately?
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Sad. No, sad.
Honestly. But anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you aren't subscribed. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. I'm here with my wife, Alex, and I'm going to test her on her baseball knowledge today. First question, how many positions are there on the baseball field?
I'm going to say 4.
Really, really wrong. There is 9 positions on the baseball field.
Okay.
Next question, how many outs are in an inning?
3.
Hey, we got one right. With 1 for 2 so far.
Kind of like kickball.
What is a home run?
Home run is when you hit the baseball and then you run from base to base without getting out. Right?
No, a home run is when you hit the ball over the fence, and so nobody can get you out at that point.
Then what is the thing that I just said?
I mean, by definition, it is a home run, but a home run is when you just hit the ball over the fence and nobody can get you out.
So what I said was right, also.
Technically speaking, yes.
All right. So.
How many innings are in a baseball game?
9.
My girl, you got it right. See?
It sounded familiar, like 9 innings. I'm pretty sure I've heard that before.